From consumption to production. From consumption to production. Of our country today is consumption and not production. It is sharing and not creating. That I want to move the country from consumption to production. A country of 200 million people with a land size of 923,000 square kilometers cannot produce, feed itself, no export. Okay, Solo Francis, let's go!
Carry me they go, PeterObi carry me they go for better Nigerian. Carry us they go, PeterObi carry us they go for better Nigerian.
From consumption
PeterObi
to
carry me they go for better Nigerian.
Carry us they go, PeterObi carry us they go for better Nigerian.
Shebi na Labour Party, na there we they go.
Carry us they go, PeterObi carry us they go for better Nigerian.
A new Nigeria is possible with PeterObi.
Carry us they go, PeterObi carry us they go for better Nigerian.
Anywhere you they go, now there we they go. For better Nigeria, now there we they go. Now Labour Party, now there we they go. For better economy, now there we they go. A new Nigeria is possible with PeterObi.
PeterObi Support Network.
Everyone, good evening, good evening, good evening. How are we doing? Maazi Ezeoke speaking to us this evening. I hope we are all doing right. As usual, that I come evenings and we have blow off top and brotherly conversations. And we say to you, where are you watching me from? A couple of hours ago, something that has taken a lot of Nigerians, myself included, by surprise, is that the former DSP, when we say DSP, it means Deputy Senate President, in the person of Senator Ike Chukwu or Senator Ike Ekweremadu, as that is being abbreviated. That news has it that he was arrested in the United Kingdom regarding an issue that borders on, one report said child trafficking, the other said organ harvest, and the charge this evening said that is on modern day slavery. Now, what are we going to do here, people? What we are going to do here is to make sense out of these surprising news, and as an informed people, let's not join the uninformed crowd to insinuate or to say anything rather than sticking and looking at facts. The challenge and the danger in looking at issues dispassionately is that it will ilk some people if the narrative is not tilting to there, or some will begin to wonder, oh, we thought you should have spared us days. Why are you joining them? Okay? If a crime was committed, I wasn't the one that said let this crime be committed. My job here is, and I owe this to my audience, to always look at these issues dispassionately and always trying to understand what my people are wanting to know, because my job here is to break down these things. That's why Njenje Media is the news here, or rather what we have here on Njenje Media is to say that we explore the truth behind the headlines. And in exploring this truth behind the headlines, you would understand what we are going to look at this evening. Now, it's no longer news, and I can tell us this evening. It's no longer news, or it's no longer a rumor, that Senator Ike Ekweremadu and the wife were arrested and they've been charged. In many forums, many of you have said, wow, they've been arrested and they've been charged. Were that to be in Nigeria, that the mere mention of their names would already make them, everyone, the prison gate or the courtroom would have been wide open. Some of you also said, I read all your comments. Don't ever think that I do not. I read every single thing you do. And for so many of you who wish to join Njenje Media on WhatsApp and on Telegram, where we disseminate information as they come. If you want to be part of that breaking news cycle, once these things happen and once it is confirmed, these things are published. So these news are published. Let's quickly share the Njenje Media link. You can always join us in order for you to get this news as they come and as they are hot. Now, before I go into details as to analyzing this evening, like I said, you may not like the facts, but facts remain facts. Okay? So I thank Emmanuel Oku Boasi, who is watching me from Manchester, United Kingdom. And I have, people who do not have their names, obviously not going to be giving you that time. Then Amadi Oko is watching from Texas. It appears that many of you are watching from outside Nigeria. And I have Onye Buchi, who is watching from Enugu, 042. Many of you don't know what 042 is. And I have World Focus watching from South Africa. So, be that as it may, everyone, the question is, why was Ike Ekweremadu arrested? If we go to the news article published by Njenje Media a couple of hours ago, because when that broke, the way Sky News, Daily Mail, BBC, the way they all reported it, they said one Nigerian. So many of us were like, could it be a coincidence? Could it actually be that Ike Ekweremadu was arrested, or could it be a mere coincidence? But we didn't know at that point, and obviously it took time to confirm. But eventually, BBC Global now referenced BBC Igbo, their sister or their daughter station in the southeast here, obviously, and they confirmed that. And in confirming that, we now know that this is real. And it is real that he's still a serving senator, but former Deputy Senate President, Dr. some call him Professor Ike Ekweremadu, is now in the hands of the British police, the British Metropolitan Police. And the details as to why he was arrested is what we are going to look at now. Before we do that, let us ensure that Nigeria no longer go from top.
ABC, Nigeria, from top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom.
This one Nigeria is all tumbling. Everything is not funny. Aeroplane is funny. I play. My neighbor press
Welcome back for that little interjection, or rather little interlude. Now let's go back and look at the details here. Now, please, if you're joining me for the first time, please do me a favor. Click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to this platform. Remember to click on the bell icon that whenever I come online, you're going to get the notification to join me here. If you haven't subscribed, be it on Facebook, on Twitch, on Instagram, or Twitter, please, by all means, do. So quickly, let's go to Njenje Media and get you that news as it hot, because this is indeed a breaking news. And this evening, I would also want to know what your take are, and because all of you that have been speaking online, you have your take. Yeah, and this is a very excellent opportunity for you to come up and basically say what you think. No one, it is your right to air your view. You sent no one into committing crime, and that's also not an indication that the crime has been confirmed. At this moment, it is still allegedly, until the crime in question is confirmed. Now, having said that, let's come back. Now, in the United Kingdom, I believe many of you will know that if you have a house girl, because we are trying to play scenario games here, what is it that could have happened? If you have a house girl, and this house girl is not treated right, and probably not undocumented, or maybe the documentation has elapsed, you're holding that house girl, you know, hostage, so to say, or in Nigeria, where law does not work, no one will consider that a hostage. But in Western world, especially in the United Kingdom, where they have a law against what they call modern day slavery. If that be the case, yes, they will, and you would have to go in for it. Not to say that this is what has happened, but because the whole charge here, it's somewhat sketchy. What we have to do is to basically try to make sense out of the sketchy information we have, put this piece of information together now to come up with something we do believe that may have happened. In this case, earlier today, the report has it that a former DSP that served with Dr. Bukola Saraki as Deputy Senate President, the one some of you said he ate yam in German. You know what I mean. But be that is may, this is no longer the time for yam eating. This is a time for other things. So here is the Deputy Senate President. I want you to come with me in this journey. The former Nigerian Deputy Senate President, Senator Ike Ekweremadu, and his wife have been identified as the couple charged in London with a child organ harvesting plot. Now, pay attention here, child organ harvesting plot, not an act. It is being still plotted according to them. We do not know. Be that the case then, according to the BBC, Ike Ekweremadu, who is 60 years old, and Beatrice Nwaneka Ekweremadu, who is 55 years, both Nigerian nationals, who appear at the Uxbridge Magistrate Court later. Mr. Ekweremadu, spokesperson, because, like I said, when that broke earlier in the day, no one was sure who that was. But quickly, when we searched the wife's name and it matched with the name in question, but again, no one could also use those pictures because he wasn't sure. But not until BBC, confirmed that the senator had been charged in the UK over this case. A child of unknown age has been taken into care. Now, what I'm trying here to be as objective as I can. I know that not many people are friends to objectivity. However, I owe it as a duty to myself and to this platform and to you to be as objective as I can. Here, according to these, according to report here, if a child, because in the United Kingdom, a child is someone between the ages of 1 to 16 is still considered a child, right? Recall that if that be the case, in your country, in your own country called Nigeria, there are senators sitting in the Senate today. They still marry 13-year-olds. They can even go to Egypt, bring them if they want. They have here at home. are no longer enough. But that is by the way. The issue is that a child of unknown age has been taken into care. You know, as these allegations, or rather as this case progresses, then we will know. So my having looked at a lot of things with my experience, what I am thinking happened here is there might be a case of domestic help where third parties would advise. I have seen one, but I wouldn't, the person might be actually be watching. I've seen one where, you know, people, you know, maybe people might say, go and report. This is what you are going to say. And if you say this, the state, now, the state will then act. And in acting, they will give you protection. In giving you protection, they will give you Pali. Pali means documentation. You see, if that is the case of someone who is not in the country. I'm not saying that this is what has happened here, but I'm saying this is a plausible thing that could have happened. The couple have been charged with conspiracy to transport a child into the United Kingdom in order to harvest the organ. Again, it could be an allegation, it could be true, I do not know. The lawyer and the politician, because Ike Ekweremadu is a lawyer and he's a politician, has been a senator since 2003 and belongs to the opposition People Democratic Party. Now, at the moment I mentioned People Democratic Party, some of you will say, aha. Recall that Ike Ekweremadu over the weekend made some comments that while PeterObi is their son, but he urged that Ndibo will not waste their vote. And some of you, when I read some of the comments you make on social media, I have been laughing because some of you are already saying, it is because he is against PeterObi, the gods of PeterObi has caught him. Someone actually went as far as, let me see if I can read this for you. This is very fun. Let me see, so that you know, watching me, that this is not me writing, but some people, because I know I read all these things sometimes when I have time to read, I read and I laugh. Someone wrote the following. Where is it? Pardon me. Someone wrote the following. It says, Father Mbaka attacked PeterObi and got banned. Sorry, Father. Some of you will not make heaven, I'm telling you, but it's fine. So Father Mbaka attacked PeterObi and got banned. Reno Omokri insulted PeterObi and lost large social media following, both on Facebook, YouTube, and his blog. Wike insulted PeterObi and was betrayed and humiliated in PDP primaries. And since then, he have gone underground. Ekweremadu insulted PeterObi and have been arrested. Do you need anyone to tell you that PeterObi carry anointing? Copy. Now, I'm not endorsing, neither am I, in support of it. I'm only stating facts because, again, I have the ears of the street. So I go to the street in our local parlance. We say, "Echo inuka arurusi ekwoku tienti na inu ugelidanda." And in this case, I can assure you, not assuring you like President Muhammadu Buhari, but this is a proper assurance. A proper assurance. I can assure you that this is as it is seen online, and I read it as it all came to me, not as any other thing, but again, as an assurance. And this assurance, I can assure you,
I assure you that our government.
But I assure you.
I assure you. I want to assure you.
I assure you.
Okay, on a lighter note, I said that's what it is. So people, like I said before, when we look at this, there is one fact that is very consistent. There is no ambiguity. There is no if, no but. But one thing is very clear, that Ike Ekweremadu is in the United Kingdom and has been arrested. But the main story and the full gist as to why he was arrested is yet to be told. The investigation, according to this report, began when detectives were alerted to a potential modern-day slavery offenses. Now, and that's again, if you piggyback, if you put your emotion under control, you piggyback to what I said before, it aligns with this. When you talk about investigations, a potential report of modern day slavery, it is, if you Google modern day slavery in the United Kingdom, mostly it has to do with people who in our own Nigerian sense, if such laws, if UK were to come into Nigeria today and it start implementing modern day slavery laws in Nigeria, most of these children that you go and abuse them in the name of house helps, all of you will be in prison and all of you will be charged with modern day slavery because that's what it is. But here, the inquiry by the Metropolitan Specialist Crime Team, they are following up the charges. So hopefully by tomorrow or later today, no, I think by tomorrow, offices just closed, we might begin to find out where exact greater details as to what is actually happening. Now, I have laid this down for you. This is what the report said. There is another angle to it because when I do analysis, I try as much as possible to go as broader as I can in order to capture a lot of things. In doing this, why am I suddenly dark? My face. Okay, but in doing this analysis, people, modern day slavery, like I said at the beginning, could be one, and could be one angle to it. Two, there is the headline that says organ harvest. Now, this could be an allegation of criminal intent. So until we know the details, there is the last part of it. The last part of it is actually on organ harvest. Could it be that he himself, the wife, or any of the family members is in need of a vital organ? If that be the case, could it be that they had a donor but were transporting the donor in a manner that is not palatable to the laws, the rules, the regulations of United Kingdom? It doesn't matter at this point. Because sometimes the way we do things in Nigeria and get away with it is not the way United Kingdom will do it, and it's not the way they will take it. I don't know. Again, I leave it to you. What I will want to then do is, if you wish to have this conversation with me, I may quickly invite you. Let me quickly share the link. In the comment section, you can come in and let's have this conversation. What's your take? Many of you are rejoicing, especially those of you who rejoiced when during the yam eating in Germany and the incident thereafter. Appear to be be rejoicing. But one thing that is very clear, whether he is released tomorrow. Actually, according to a report by Newsban had a report. I think that was done by a lawyer. No matter how you look at it, politically, his career is finito. There is no going, there is, no if, no but. Reason is, if it is a case of modern day slavery, that is life imprisonment. I hope we understand that. If it's a case of modern day slavery, that's his life imprisonment. If it's a case of organ harvest, the same. The only thing will be if a plea bargain is taken, you may have like 6 months, 1 year jail time, then obviously then you get released. But politically, otherwise, that is the end. It leads me to another speculation that someone said before. I said, honestly, I do not care. Someone told me, Maazi, have you considered that this could be his political opponent who are after him? So if you read and until we see the charges properly, if that be the case, was it the political opponents that told him to, was it is the camera? Actually, is the camera. I'm using a very different. I'm using a DSLR, DSLR camera that is the autofocus is going from top to bottom. That's why sometimes I go dark like Malians. Sometimes I look like myself. So yes, Onyenimo, you're right. So some of you are. Their daughter has been on dialysis for a long time in the UK and needs a. You see, this is what somebody said. See, I didn't know this information before now. You see, the thing I'm telling us, if you stick to facts, not emotion. Someone said this. JC Passion blog said that the daughter has been on dialysis for a very long time and needs a kidney transplant, according to the UK news. Now, without knowing this information, I'd already said that another option is that a member of the family could be needing a kidney transplant or a vital organ transplant. It could be liver, it could be kidney, it could be any other thing. But, and you go to Nigeria, you get someone who is a match, but in the process, maybe a minor, and the documentations are not entirely, what it seems to. If that be the case, that a 16-year-old, a 15-year-old, like I said at the beginning, a 15-year-old is still considered a minor in the United Kingdom. A 16-year-old is still considered as a minor in the United Kingdom. If that be the case, that a 15 or 16-year-old is going to be the one to donate liver, kidney, whatever that is, then be rest assured that that's going to raise alarm. Again, you are very unlikely, because if the child in question is not a United Kingdom citizen, then you're very unlikely to be on the queue to get a kidney or a liver transplant. Therefore, they would then be watchful. How are you going to do it? How are you going to get someone? And because many people these days do not have so much faith in India and elsewhere, these things obviously will not be tolerated, or, they don't have faith in that. And those things that have been done in India, Pakistan, and elsewhere will not be tolerated here. My camera is going from top to bottom. You see, that's what I'm... My camera is going from top to bottom. I mean, I can tell you that. I agree with you. My camera has been infected by the AFEC. AFEC has affected my camera. My camera is now going from top to bottom. Something must be done. The stability, I think I know what is happening, but I will probably look at that after this. I think the aperture setting, the ICO setting is a little bit wonky, but be that it may, pardon me, that it's happening in the middle of the stream. My camera is not. So now, you may wish to come, if you wish to come and have this conversation with me, you can call me on WhatsApp, and the number is will be displayed on the screen shortly. You can call me on WhatsApp, and we're going to bring you in to have this conversation if that is much easier for you to do. Many of you have the numbers already. You can call the number, or the link is already shared there. You can join. My camera is going from top to bottom. That one, the sweet one. All of you are, if you are laughing now that my camera is going from top to bottom. I have the register for those of you that will go to heaven. So I will not allow you to. I have my first caller here. I have Samuel. Samuel, are you there?
I'm there. I'm sorry. Are you online?
Yes. Okay. I thought you were watching me. That's fine.
I will call you when you feel.
Okay. Okay. So I thought that was someone calling for the program. He's calling for something else. So again, someone says using black brain in white system. If Ekweremadu have built standard hospital, I think this is, this guy is making sense. If Ekweremadu has built standard hospital in his place, would he have had any need? And true, if we had developed our place, this transplant, if that is the case, would have happened in Nigeria. Yeah, hello, you're speaking to Maazi, Ezeoke. Oh, okay. The caller has dropped. What is happening to you guys this evening? Everyone is dropping. The caller has just also dropped. Now, I agree with this statement. Using black brain and white system, if Ekweremadu had built standard hospitals in the black man's nation, he would not be in a white man prison. Well, for your information, he's not yet in prison. He's just been arrested, and he's a lawyer. He has what it takes to defend himself. So you just be rest assured that he is going to defend himself and defend himself properly. But no matter how this goes, my prediction is that this is the end of his political career because of the mess involved. So who am I speaking to? If you are calling, please make sure you turn down or you stop the system you're listening with so that I can hear you. We don't have that echo. Let's try once more. Good evening. Who am I speaking to?
Good evening, Maazi.
Who am I speaking to, and where are you calling from?
This is Emeka. I'm calling from Dubai.
Okay, Emeka, Dubai.
Yes, once again, good evening to you, Maazi.
Yeah, good evening.
I stumbled at this particular story on the Facebook about 30 or 45 minutes ago, and a whole lot of people are somehow jubilating, attributing this particular incident to his comments about Labour Party candidate and his sort of negligence about the Southeast West, and somehow they attached it to being a betrayal, and that whatever is happening today serves him right. But as I was going through the social media, through the Facebook, I came through a letter that was dated, I think, 28th of November 2021, signed by Ike Ekweremadu himself, talking about there was a name, somebody, David, that is supposed to do a kidney donation to Miss, I can't remember somebody, Ekweremadu, who is supposed to be the daughter of Ike Ekweremadu, that the two of them will be in a certain hospital in London. So, why I'm saying this is because somebody just wrote that her daughter has been on dialysis in London. So, like you said, there must be a mix-up in documentation about the person who is supposed to do the donation. And if actually the person is underage, that is yet to be proved. But personally, I have told some people that are rejoicing, don't rejoice yet, even if what happened or what is going on now is attached to his comments, or it's like a retribution over his comments about PeterObi and the rest of them. Nobody should rejoice yet, because the truth of the matter has not been ascertained by a duly constituted court of law, which is going to take effect after due investigations. But be that as it may, like you rightly said, assuming some of these things turns out to be true, he is dead politically, and that won't be a very good pointer to our Igbo race. So, but whichever way it is, I keep telling people, let's calm down. Nobody should rejoice yet. It is not a good omen. Even if it is true, it will open up a whole lot of things, because before now there has been rumors that Ike Ekweremadu has not been a very good guy, especially from people from his own state of Enugu. So, but that is not what you are saying. What you are saying is that let us calm down and await the outcome of the investigations going forward, so that we can be able to say this is actually what happened. That is my contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That is well taken, and thank you for the insight provided. Thank you. So, you know, again, I like it when people are able to stick to issues. I do understand, like if you watched Arise TV this morning, where morning breakfast show, where Ruben, Tundu, and Oji, when they discussed the comment of Ekweremadu, and vis-a-vis the comment of Governor David Maazi. You know, you see that what Ekweremadu is said, you see that sometimes some of us are too emotional with these things. He is of the PDP fold. Christ, guys, he cannot be seen to be supporting Labour, even if he does. Even if he does believe that PeterObi is the right person, but he cannot be seen supporting Labour Party. That would be what they call in political parlance anti-party activity. But in this case, he has said what he said. Do I for one second believe, as the last caller said, that there is any connection between the utterances, the things he said, which again, in my estimation, those are political statements. If it has anything to do with, I say, hell no, it has nothing. But again, guys, you know, you guys always want to bring stuffs in, and you know, and and sometimes trying to mobble and jumble them together. But again, that is neither here nor there. But one thing that is becoming very clear and apparent, I believe by tomorrow, again, that's what I say, let us stick to facts. Bottle your emotions. You may not like Ike Ekweremadu. Ike Ekweremadu might be your God. Before you defend, before you castigate, take a back seat. Look at the data you have. Look at the information you have. Look at it. Use your brain. Know, read in between the line. Know what seems plausible. Some say, oh, he's kidnapped somebody to London. Do I believe he's done that? No. Some say, oh, he had done this, is, you know, slavery. I don't believe that. What I think internationally has happened is that these things, you know, there are international laws or that guide certain nations. But because in our place, because we are a lawless society, recall people, there was a time when Akpabio newly became a senator. Akpabio ran red light in Abuja. Red light on a crossing. The cars hit themselves. Akpabio flew to London to go get himself treated. in the same London that Akpabio flew to. Were that to happen in London, Akpabio would probably be in prison and be receiving that treatment. Why? Because there was red light. He did not obey the red light. He ran red light, and because he had siren. But you know that if you're in the United Kingdom or you are in America, you're in any civilized country, you know that it is a criminal offense. A UK minister has gone to jail because he broke traffic offense and the wife covered him when the Azarun was no longer working the way it ought to. The woman, came up, and eventually the rest became history. The husband was jailed. Hello, who am I speaking to? Maazi Ezeoke.
Good evening, Maazi Ezeoke. I'm calling you from United States, California, precisely.
Okay, and what's the name, sorry?
Rufus.
Rufus.
Rufus. Yes, this is Rufus. Yeah.
Okay, Rufus, go ahead. What's your contribution?
So, my contribution, I'll be Maazi. I'll be very fast in it because I just saw your program and you want people to call in, so I want to give my contribution, then go back to work. Okay. So, my contribution to this thing, is in Nigeria. You know how the laws don't work in Nigeria, so they think a lot of people in Nigeria has grown up to not knowing the law, thinking everything that goes in Nigeria can go elsewhere. Now, who is that immigration officer that issued this passport to this kid? You understand what I mean? Who is that immigration officer that issued the passport to this kid? And to digress a little bit, these guys, they don't care about the Nigerian population anymore. Look at the hospitals in Nigeria is dead. They are all completely dead. We don't have hospitals again. Okay, your daughter is having dialysis. Nobody, we wish her a speedy recovery. But you're not gonna take advantage of a poor boy, all in the name of promising the person a better life and all that. It does not work that way, And Maazi, the thing that opened their ass, when criminals are not, not saying he's a criminal, just quote unquote. When you go to hospitals over here, I think you should know that as well. When you go to hospitals over here, before any procedure is done on you, even as a grown-up person, they will come and ask you, what is your name again? You will say it from A to Z. Your age, birth month, this one. And if there is any irregularities there, the police is downstairs. In every hospital that I've been to in this Obodoyibo, Maazi, they have police standby. So maybe the kid, as a kid, he doesn't know his birth month, his birth week, all those things, because they have to ask, those questions. And believe you me, this is where their asses got open, because the kid could not, does not know his month, does not know his date of birth, the month, and all that. So I think that is where the problem is. So if he's found guilty, this should be let's call it.
No. But the question here is, that's what I say. When we stick with facts, we go from unknown to the unknown. The question is, no one knows the point of arrest. Is it at the point of entry? Is it at the point of going to the hospital? These details are not known.
Maazi, according to Arise TV, because I watched like 1 hour ago. So it says that it was in the hospital when the kid, like when I told you, the kid, when it's already, they are about to perform the whole thing. But like I told you, in hospitals over here, they will have, procedures. This, maybe what's it called, anesthesia will come and ask you, what's your name again? Just to be sure of what they're doing, to make sure they're giving the right person, So when they call the person, the name, the date of birth, and all that. And the kid could not. What's your? They will ask you, what is your name? What is your last name? What is your first name? What is? They will ask you again. And don't think these guys are very smart. They ask the kid, how old are you? And what's your date of birth? What is your birth month? He could not say all these things. That is where there's suspicion got raised. And once the police came in, you know how these people are.
Now, it could be a case of going to the hinterlands of the village of parents who haven't seen no money, and you build a one-bedroom flat of 3 million for them. They think the whole world, and you lure the child. I'm just in line with what you're saying. It could be.
Yes.
But nobody knows.
According to what's it called? Rice TV and the correspondent in the UK, and she said that the prosecutor said the kid was picked up in a homeless kid, somewhere, and a homeless person could be, they go to their village or something and pick up a boy, or, promising them a better life in UK and all that, without knowing, the kid not knowing what they are taking. If he is found guilty on this one, both of them will not, I think they at least, even if they do plea bargain, even if they do plea bargain, they're not doing anything less than 10 years, because this is a case of modern day slavery.
Exactly. I mean, like I said at the beginning, there are options here. It could be a case of modern day slavery, it could be a case of organ harvesting, it could be a case of, you understand? But whatever it is, we do not need to advise him. He's a lawyer. If he gets convicted.
He's a lawyer. Where is his chamber?
No. Before then he was, but anyway, that's by the way. The question is, obviously here he has what it takes to hire the best of lawyers. So O.J. Simpson at some point was, got free. So he's not the first thing.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, it's a question of getting one of the funniest and the brightest UK lawyers. You see that the case will change. But you and I are only looking at the facts that we have at the moment. And tomorrow I'll probably do revisit this at my Friday hangout. By that time, all the readables, everything, the court proceedings, the documentations would have been read, and we will be tomorrow having a more informed conversation regarding this. Thank you very much, Rufus.
Maazi, please, before I leave, I need to say something. Because,
go ahead.
It is important. It is important that these guys don't tell us. I don't know if I'm allowed to say anything about PeterObi here.
Go ahead. As long as you're not here, we don't slander anyone.
I'm not slandering. All I'm saying is this. They can tell us. All these politicians has been in the power ever since. They shouldn't tell us who to vote for, whether our vote count or nothing. Our vote will count. Let us vote the person we want to vote, and we'll be there and count the votes. Remember, Maazi, one time you were having this was like sometime last year. I told you, if they refuse to give PeterObi, what's it called, the ticket to PDP, PeterObi will leave PDP and PDP will crush. Thank you, Maazi. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Robert. Well, my response to the comments made, yes, PeterObi will leave PDP. Yes, he has left PDP. Yes, Igbos are angry with PDP, and Igbos will speak to PDP in the language they understand in the February election. That we can take to the bank. Because a lot of people, myself included, with our PVC, this is my PVC, my PVC is here, we have gone to the gym with the PVC, and we are going to be flogging some people with the PVC. But having said that, in line with what you said, Rufus, no one, not Governor Dave Umahi, not Ekweremadu, Not anyone should force anyone and dictate to anyone where to vote. Anyone who is of voting age is an adult. That's when you need to, because you need to turn 18. And anybody who is turned 18, whether that individual lives in his papa's or mama's house, that individual is an adult, and that individual has the right to make the choice of their own. People, I don't want to keep us for too long, but join me tomorrow, maybe 6 or 7 o'clock, I'm not too sure because of events happening. And join me on Dr. Damage's show on Sunday, and we're going to be their guest on Sunday, 4:30, Dr. Damages. He likes damaging things. Dr. Damages, Rudolph Okonkwo. But back to Ekweremadu before I conclude. I think tomorrow we will have more info, and we will look at these things, and we'll look at it dispassionately. Those of you that rejoice, again, I said this to us, even with your enemy, rejoice with no man's affliction. Again, rejoice with no man's affliction. Some of you will say you are now quoting Bible, even if it's your enemy. But be that as it may, the thing is not looking good. It's not looking good. I think maybe a lot of Nigerian thinking was in there. I recall one time when a brother of mine was visiting the United Kingdom, a child that that is his child. He's got the birth certificate, but he was refused visa on the ground that they do not know if this child is his. You know, when you say that to a Nigerian person with a Nigerian mentality who hasn't understood the workings and the systems of Ndiocha, you will say, this is Igbo parents, when are they Chris? Is my child? They say, what are no, it is about documentation. They want you to prove beyond every reasonable doubt that this is your child by fact of evidence, presentation of these evidences, and so on and so forth. But once all these things are done, you'll be given the visa. So in this case, if there were issues of misrepresentation of facts, if there are areas of, you know how these people do. Don't think that this case will end here. You might see people, forensic investigators, flying into Nigeria. You might see forensic investigators flying into Nigeria to investigate this. These cases are not taken lightly. If you recall, in the United Kingdom, there was a time a boy, I think from Benin, was killed, and his dead body, his torso, found in the Thames River. It took the British police time. How did they eventually piggyback this boy to know that this boy was from Nigeria and that this is the ethnicity? In the abdomen of that child, the dead child, they were able to find some specimen of some certain beans, what do they call it? Ewedu beans. And eventually, they worked their way to the point that those who committed the act were arrested. One thing I can tell you with British police for free, things that they don't take lightly, is that they don't just come and make statements, not like Nigerian police. Nigerian police, I recall as a student, driving my father's car then. Police, look at this, I put it to you, you stole this car. You are a thief. A British police won't do that. Because you are young, because you are driving a car, you can never, ever, allude to the fact that, something like that happened. They have their fact because they know if they don't have facts and make these things public, bear in mind that these things, I think Sky News, Daily Mail, Evening Telegraph, or whatever, were the ones that I first saw that. They know that if they don't get their facts right and they release this information to the public, their backside could be sued, could be hammered, could be battered. Therefore, they always want to make sure that the information they dish out to the public is genuine. Not like in Nigeria, where police will be parading. You know, ungunned men will come to your street. They will go home, or 3 hours later, police will come and arrest the boy that went to go and buy bread, the other one that is going to buy kerosene. Even that kerosene that he has bought, and the mother is waiting for him at home. That kerosene, Nigerian police will tell you, this kerosene is what they want to use to come and burn some houses. The one that has gone to somewhere else, they will catch them, and all of them, they will now say they parade them. Some of them, half of them, they will parade them as Yahoo Yahoo. The other one, they will parade them on some gun number. That is the way they work. Okay? That is the way they work. You know, but here, a friend of mine that got into scandal very, very long time ago, he got into scandal in the United Kingdom. I think the scandal was something to do with arranged marriage, you know now. Make I talk this one for the language. Make you no call kuku myself arrest me. But this guy, he said the day where they show him, where they arrested him, he go pick somebody from Stansted Airport, I think. He was going home. The day they showed him what they got on him, when they busted his house around 3:30 a.m., when they know 1,000,000% he was sleeping, they busted his house, seized everything, seized all documents, and after 2 days, they showed him the documents they had on him. They have been trailing this guy for over 1 year. All the people that were coming from Spain, from Poland, from Romania, from Germany, all the people they've been doing arrange with, they will trail them when they will go and shake hands, come out of the plane, take the person into their car, go to the car park, drive away, be it Stansted, Heathrow, Gatwick. So he said they laid everything on the table. He can see his face driving on M25. He can see his face driving on M4. He can see his face driving on M1. He said when he saw this, he didn't know what else to do. He said the only thing he could tell them is that they asked him, do you know this person? And are you aware of what this person has done? He did like this. They said, what? He said, no, he cannot understand English. Suddenly, one guy, no hear English again. He said, no, he can only hear Igbo. And you know, sometimes Igbo, they do like mad people. Even a man that they've been communicating in English since his arrest suddenly said he doesn't hear English. But because they have to charge him, and again, it's their words and against his, they had to go and pay somebody per hour to come and do interpreter. To say, when one nigga working, he said, did you hear? I said, yes, I have. He said, yes. So in those things, it took time. That's why growing up in Nigeria, we used to have what we call secret police or CIDs. There are people we knew, we can suspect them to be CIDs, but where are these people today? Even the money you pay the CID, somebody maybe in the Senate, in the House of Assembly, they would have pafukat the money, and there is nothing you can do about it. The nation is bleeding. The nation is kaput. We've gone from top to bottom. And before I conclude, I think I have a guest here. I have the priest of peace. Priest of peace, be careful. You are driving, and I don't want you to crash your car. But let me bring you in quickly. Okay.
Yeah, I just got home. You see, the reason why I'm calling in Njenje is I'm just coming from the hospital. I went
Are
to
you
go
a
and
medical doctor?
I am not a medical, but I work in the medical field one way or the other. So, but I was having some heart, I was seeing some changes in my heart, whatever, palpitation and all that. And I went to go and check. I'm just coming out, So I went to go and check. So what I'm
Oh, I think the internet there, I think my brother there, he's come out of the hospital, and it appears he's taking his Nigerian MTN. He's not working properly. I would have loved to hear his thoughts. You know, like I was telling us, the story that I told us about how these people can investigate. Look at Hush Puppy, for instance. When they investigated Hush Puppy, the moment they released what they had on Hush Puppy, the moment they released what the conversation between him and Abba Kyari, you know that it was a go for him. And what did Hush Puppy do? Hush Puppy at that point knew that, I couldn't tell them the truth. Let me see if they can reduce my year. And eventually, that's what Hush Puppy did. So I think this case, maybe there are some negligence, we're not aware, but it might end up in plea bargain. My brother, the priest of peace, once more, welcome back.
Yes, yes. So, you see, it's not complicated. My annoyance has always been the fact that Ekweremadu was a former Senate president. Ekweremadu, with his status as a former Senate president, has all it takes to bring out a bill that will make the health sector functional. But he couldn't do it.
No, he can't. The one that has the executive powers to even do it, has he done it?
Okay, I mean, at least let him try. Let him try. But apart from that, I've been saying this all a while. The whole governors in Imus, in Nigeria, sorry, Eastern governors, 5 of them, should make healthcare affordable, workable, and accessible. How are they going to do it? Let's assume that we have the whole of 5 Eastern states have 5 million workforce. Okay, let's assume, just an assumption, 5 million. That 5 million workforce can as well, I mean, make it happen to the extent that they will have more than 1,000 hospital bed, a medical village, not only for them, for all the teaming people who are business people, and make it accessible. The way to do these things is not rocket science, but these people cannot do it. But they will want to come to the US, they will want to come to Europe to go and do what? To get the best for which they can afford to give people back home. It's so, I don't know, sometimes when I think about it, my head is blowing. My head blows, because why would these people be so mean and wicked for their own people? It's so sad. People are praying for him. I mean, anybody that is praying for these politicians is, that person need to go and have his brain checked, because they don't want it at all. They don't want our sympathy. The other day he was mouthing PeterObi. Of course, I have a different opinion about him. He was mouthing him. Somebody that said, I have what it takes, I can make this thing work. But he said, no, he cannot. We know what he has been doing from the back. But shame on all the Eastern politicians. Shame on them for betraying the trust we bestowed on them. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution. What we have to know, people, at this stage, until we find the final details of what has transpired, I think we can, as of today, being the 23rd of June 2023, it's 21 minutes past the hour of 7. We can comfortably say that there was an application for visa to be granted. There was a case of kidney transplant. There was a case of an application being made. But at what point these things then turned into a criminal allegations is what is still at this point not fully. I understand that there are some media houses have already made, insinuations and made publications. But I think, listen, people, this evening we will be, I think one of his essays, I would reach out later to find out. But join me tomorrow, because I promise you, between now and tomorrow evening, in the next 23 hours, I would put in my journalistic hat and try to dig and get to the bottom of it. Because again, we must stick to fact, and we must be a people of fact. Whether you like him, whether you hate him, whether he's your brother, whether he's your enemy, wherever you stand, let's look at facts. When you look at facts dispassionately, it's going to help us look at issues and see issues differently. On that note, I say thank you very much for being part of this. My camera this evening is indeed going from top to bottom. I think my camera always like to listen to this song that I play from top to bottom. And now my camera is behaving like top to bottom. On that note, I say once more, good evening and have a fantastic evening. Bye for now. I am still Maazi Ezeoke. I can only say to us, please, please, please subscribe to this platform, share this video, and wherever you're watching me from, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and wherever, just subscribe. Follow me. If you want to follow me on my personal Twitter handle, that is at Maazi Ezeoke on Twitter, where I do my bashing, I do my nuggets, I do all the truth that you can think of. On that note, I say good evening once more, and thank you for being part of this conversation, and bye for now.
ABC Nigeria, from top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom.
This one like this, tumbling. Water. Everything is not funny. They will blame me.